Folks, it would be easy to dismiss this past year as chaos, and partisanship as politics. But it's far, far bigger than that. This administration isn't just targeting the laws that protect us. They're targeting the very idea that we are all worthy of protection.
That was Massachusetts Congressman Joe Kennedy providing the electrifying rebuttal to Donald Trump's State of the Union address. Please welcome a rising star in the Democratic Party, Congressman Joe Kennedy. Okay, I have to do this because your response captured everybody's attention, but you had these suspiciously shiny lips, all right? Everyone had his theory. Wait a minute. Everybody had their theories about what was going on. Let's watch this little montage we have here.
Oh, good.
This man does not have chapped lips because this man does not have lips.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure Kennedy was just so handsome he was making his own mouth water.
Something always goes wrong. The person they choose to speak is either completely dehydrated or, in this case, foaming at the mouth. Joe, I know you're saying important stuff, but all I see is spit.
Okay, now, you know,
we just wanted to warm you up a little bit.
You know, the Kennedy family has the best sense of humor, so we thought you'd enjoy that.
Got a gift for you.
Okay, thank you. And it's got your name on it. I'll save this.
It's a special brand. You know, it turns out when people question the character of the American public, they are generous. They've got a great sense of humor. I have gotten more free bottles of chapstick sent to my office.
That's funny.
Yeah, they've got a sense of humor. They just happen to be laughing at me.
But it was just chapstick.
It was just chapstick. The speech went on a little longer than I thought. It was the middle of winter. My lips were chapped. Right before I went on, I put on a little.
But everyone who does that job is cursed.
I know.
The water with little Marco. Remember that other one? Who was the other?
Bobby Jindal.
Bobby Jindal.
Yeah.
Does that?
I put. It's actually a pretty awkward moment because you. The camera cuts to you and for about 10 seconds, all of the other networks switch over to this live feed.
Yeah.
So you've got 10 seconds of staring at a camera on live television where you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So right before they kind of gave me a cue, the producer of it was kind enough to actually give me a huge tall glass of water, which I chugged right before to make sure I didn't fall into the problem. I just didn't check the chapstick.
So, Glenn, your question.
So let's get right into it. We know that the gun control debate is raging right now, and this is an issue that hits particularly close to home for you. Your grandfather, Bobby Kennedy, was assassinated, as well as your great-uncle, John F. Kennedy, in the 60s. And right now, polls are showing that 77% of Americans don't think that Congress is doing enough to stop these mass shootings. So how do you plan on holding your colleague accountable in Congress?
Look, we're not doing enough. I came into office in 2013. I can't even tell you how many times we have uttered our thoughts and prayers to the victims and the survivors of gun violence, and clearly thoughts and prayers aren't doing it. We have tried. Democrats in the House have tried. We even staged a sit-in for hours trying to get a vote on the House floor for a single piece.
But Democrats had a majority between 2009 and 2010, and they didn't even try to renew the federal assault weapons ban. And then after Sandy Hook in 2013, which is when you took office, there was a vote in the Democrat-controlled Senate that didn't even make it to the House because so many Democrats against it for the assault to renew that ban. So you also, do you think you need to hold your own Democratic Party accountable?
So I think a couple things on that. Just because the bill didn't make it out of the House or out of the Senate doesn't mean the House shouldn't have voted on it. The House Republican leadership decided never to take that bill up, and we haven't had one ever since. And the challenge that I've got at this point, since I have been in office, we have done literally everything we possibly can to try to get Republican leadership just to give us a vote. And if it's voted down, fine, but give us a vote. At this point, the folks that are going to be able to hold Republican leadership accountable on this, I fear are not going to be Democrats in the House. It's going to be the American people saying, we want this, we want to protect our kids. If you can't, we'll change Congress when we will.
We've been talking about this yesterday, today. President Trump has suggested arming teachers inside schools and giving them bonuses for having these guns. Do you think that that is the right way to protect our kids? Is this a good idea?
No, it's not. The idea that somehow the right way to protect our children in schools is to try to make sure that more and more people have guns. Look, as you guys just highlighted, there was somebody with a gun outside this shooting,
Yes.
and it didn't make any difference at all.
There are always cracks.
So the issue I think we have to acknowledge, one, is that this is a complex one, and it's a hard one. Two, the thing that makes me so angry in part of this debate that does get framed largely from my Republican colleagues is that this is a mental health issue. Folks, the data on this could not be more clear. One, people with mental illness are far more likely to be victims of crime than perpetrators.
I said that.
Study after study shows that when it comes down to these mass shootings, the vast majority of them are not perpetrated by people suffering with mental illness. Now, are there circumstances where somebody is mentally ill? Yes. Do we need to actually invest in our mental health care? Absolutely. You know what the first big bill coming out of Congress was under this administration? A bill to cut Medicaid, the largest payer of mental health services in this country, by $800 billion.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So don't turn around and tell me this is a mental health issue when you just tried to cut the biggest payer of it by $800 billion.
Why did they get away with it? Trump, I know what you're talking about, and Trump gets away with it. He never loses his base, no matter what he does.
He didn't get away with that because her dad voted no.
I want to just tone shift a little bit. Your great uncle, I have such fond memories of the late great Ted Kennedy. He's very good friends with my father. In a very strange piece of poetic irony, they both had the same cancer, glioblastoma, and I used to remember his Portuguese water dogs in the office. Your great uncle had, I think we have a photo. He used to bring them in the office. I remember a time of bipartisanship. Again, my dad tells a story about them fighting it out on the floor of the Senate and then leaving, hugging each other, saying, "We really showed them a good time. We showed them how it's done, John." And he tells that story quite often right now. What do we have to do, our generation, to get back to this place of bipartisanship and respect and friendship that is so long gone right now?
Megan, your dad has admirers obviously across the country. I'm not sure there's any bigger admirers of him than members of my family. And obviously that's not because our politics line up, as they don't. But that is because there's we have an extraordinary admiration for people that consistently have put service above self and country above all. And I cannot think of a better example of that in public life today than your dad. And I think, look, the institution misses him. We all miss him. And again, not because of where he would come down on any single policy debate. He and I would probably come down on the opposite sides of most of them. But you have a person there that, in Senator McCain, that has an integrity about him and will stand up for the process and will recognize that just because your political views don't align, that a Democrat is an elected official is giving voice to the people that they represent. And you might disagree with them, but their voices count because the voters that voted for them also count. And this shouldn't be framed politics. We've gotten to a place where it's somehow now zero sum, that a party has to win and that means somebody else has to lose. Folks, these are American citizens that you are then rooting for to lose. That's crazy.
Yes.
We never should.
Right. You know, Congressman, there's so much that we could talk about having you here, and we're hoping that you'll continue with your career, because a lot of people are saying that you are the rising star in the party, and that maybe you know what's coming. Yeah, maybe you'll consider running for president next time. What do you say?
Thanks, but I wouldn't hold your breath. My wife and I, who's actually backstage with our 9-week-old little boy.
Congratulations.
Thank
He
you.
enjoyed it. Don't worry about it.
So we've got a 2-year-old and a 9-week-old. It is his first trip to New York City. He's very excited to take it all in.
Yeah.
He got up at 1 in the morning and has been up since. So the main thing on our horizon is 1, sleep, and then 2, some sort of semblance of a schedule and reliability. And look,
Well, you're very young.
You're a parent.
You're very
never
young.
going to sleep. So yes or no? Are you running for president?
Exactly.
Yes or no?
No plans. No plans.
No plans
No
yet.
plan-
No
no
plans yet.
How old are you?
37.
37.
But would you be a running mate? on a ticket?
I don't think that's
the
actually-
question. He's young, so he can be
JFK, your great uncle, JFK, John Kennedy was about the same age when he ran, right?
And had
A little bit older, but yes.
About a couple of years, that's
Yes.
all.
And had kids.
And had the little kids in the White House. We're so happy that you
pressure,
came.
no pressure.
Thanks to Congressman Joe Kennedy. We'll be right back.